Now, after every John Wick, I think, hey, that's some good gratuitous shooting. And then when the sequel has a trailer, I think, why are they giving us a sequel? How far can they take the premise of a man too angry to die? But as a fan of the overlooked equilibrium, I take my gun katana where I can get it, and each entry has been an absolute blast in reinventing the action genre. The series is done well by leaning into the ridiculous and bombastic lore of an assassin group that slowly evolved to be revealed as a global secret society with the effortless charm of Keanu Reeves. However, this is the longest entry yet, with a reported extended edition of almost 4 hours, and the movie director defending the runtime, saying that people binge like 10 episodes of a TV show on a Sunday, which missing the entire point there, because, well, that's a TV show, this is a movie. They're very different things, and I could talk all day about how streaming shows are too long and they're just extended movies, but hey, that's another video for another time. The first one thrilled us with creative fight scenes and a interesting novel premise there, but sadly I expected sword fights, samurai style. Let's head into Japan in the fourth entry, and stunning martial arts fights with Donnie Yen, with the legend coming to this franchise. And yes, we did get those, but I wanted to see some real, just awesome, proper samurai movie homages, some real homages to the legendary fight scenes in Hong Kong action movies and Chinese martial arts movies that came before. And yes, as I said, we get these. The movie's fights seem to run out of creativity when they leave Japan. There was a nunchuck scene and things like that. We get non-stop extended scenes of Wick using his signature gunplay that pads out the movie's runtime, which, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it just gets a bit long in the tooth. Admittedly, the top-down isometric homage to games like Hotline Miami was something I never thought I wanted, and now I want a whole movie based like that with Ryan Gosling playing the Hotline Miami guy. While I admit saying too much action in a action movie is silly, seeing John Wick use new weapons like the nunchucks was a breath of fresh air, but the leaning on the old style at times felt a bit dull, sort of like when you lose a power-up in a video game. The story and writing, however, works very, very well, leading up to a duel way to build tension in the final scene, but the action is incredibly slower, but the tension is still there. While it would have been nice to have John Wick wipe out the whole of the heads of the table in a rip-roaring rampage of revenge, having them all hand power to the Marquis worked very, very well, having a focused villain, especially as Bill Skarsgård delivers expertly as the Marquis, the smarmy, privileged prick. However, this is supposed to be the capstone of John Wick's story. He is, in quotes, died. I don't think he's actually dead, personally. I think he's off living his life. The only way he could live life would be, quote unquote, dead. But I do feel that him constantly, or the Marquis being told that, well, they're going to replace you, or people say that the Marquis will just be replaced, well, then it didn't feel the capstone. I felt like John Wick had to dismantle the whole damn table and organisation, which felt a bit muted for the end of this story. The Marquis could have been played as an expert swordsman, ending with a really cool fencing sword fight similar to the fencing scene we had in Die Another Day, but showing a rich guy who is only powerful because his money failed and then died due to his hubris at the end was really, really funny. It worked out very well, it just didn't feel like the end of a movie franchise. Obviously, the post-credit scene does give us a spin-off with Akira, the daughter of the guy, or the manager of the Osaka Continental there, so that's going to carry on. But most people in the cinema went, oh yeah, that her. Oh yeah, Kane did that. So it was like, oh, okay, cool. The villains did feel a little cluttered at times, and nobody, while isn't a villain, was interesting but hardly fleshed out. So I would have liked to maybe have him not in it and have more history of Kane and John Wick, which would allow us to see more of why they're fighting what their friendship was and why they respect each other so. This is why the stuffed action scenes made the movie film so long, because we could have got more story and more depth into these characters. But overall, it was really good. I really enjoyed it, but I would give it a solid 3 out of 5 there. But I'll see you soon. Goodbye.